Leanne Crichton and James McFadden with us. Leanne, Partick Thistle, deserved winners.
I think just and no more. Based on the ruthlessness in front of goal, I think that's been the difference in the two ties. It's come down to, again, one man at the top end of the pitch for me, and Brian Graham. He's been the difference. But looking at Rhys McCabe, looking at those Airdrie players out on the pitch, they've got to be extremely proud of their performance over the season as well. I mean, it's why we love the Championship, it's why we thoroughly enjoy these playoffs. But Kris Doolan, for a second year running, he's taken his team to the playoff semi-finals. And for me, yeah, they just deserved it and no more.
James, what did it come down to for you, just the nous and experience of this remarkable Partick Thistle striker Brian Graham, who we'll hopefully speak to soon, 36 years of age, now 26 goals in all competitions this season. He keeps on making the difference.
He does, and I think that, you know, before the game we highlighted his chance that he missed on Tuesday night, and you like, I know Brian Graham, all he thinks about is scoring goals, so I know that would have been bothering him, but he put himself in same position twice today, gets his rewards and gets 2 goals. But I have to say, I think that defensively Partick Thistle were excellent against a very good Airdrie side. They'll get all the plaudits, Airdrie, for how they play, and quite rightly so. They're a joy to watch. A young manager that has played a lot of games this season as well. It's tough enough managing a team, but when you're playing and your assistant manager's a player as well, they will go from strength to strength next year, and it might not feel like it, but they will take a lot from this season, Airdrie going into next season. But Partick Thistle, just a solid team performance. Airdrie played all the nice football. At times Partick Thistle did in the second half, but when you've got a guy that knows where the back of the net is and you give him chances, he will put it in the back of the net. A good team performance and a deserving victory for me tonight.
A lot of people working overtime on both these sides, and brilliant moment. That's fantastic to see.
I'm going to say I think that's his boy.
It definitely is.
I assume so.
I don't think he's ever far from his side, to be honest. I've seen him at most games, both men's and women's this season. I think he kicks every ball with Brian, and he must be extremely proud of his dad tonight, that's for sure.
Absolutely, he's absolutely buzzing, and no wonder. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these people working overtime. Brian Graham, of course, the manager of Partick Thistle's ladies' side as well, and Callum Fordyce, who hit the bar for Airdrieonians. The assistant player manager for Airdrieonians, Rhys McCabe, of course, player manager. And these Airdrieonian players, their season is over. They salute the fans who came out in such force this evening and gave their side such great support. But you know what? Paddy's right. It was a fantastic defensive performance from Partick Thistle this evening, as well as the goals of Brian Graham. 2 defensive stalwarts of this evening have joined Amy Canterman.
Aaron, look, congratulations. That was one hell of a shift tonight, wasn't it? We'll start with yourself, Aaron.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, before the game we knew, and you've seen on Tuesday night how good a side Airdrie are, we knew it would be a tough test, but we stood up to it, and I made a few tweaks pre-match, and I felt it worked tonight, and I'm just delighted to be in the next round.
No screamers tonight, look, no screamers, but it was an almighty defensive shift this evening, wasn't it?
It was tough. The second half we sat in a bit, but we did what we needed to do, as Aaron said, so just buzzing to be in the next round.
When you have a guy like Brian Graham, your captain's just walked along over there, does it make your job that slight bit easier knowing that up the other end, if you just try and keep a clean sheet, he'll do the business up the other end?
Yeah, Brian, I think you've seen all season, Brian's a predator, and if we can give him the service, then he'll put the ball in the net for us, as you've seen tonight. Maybe when we're trying to sit off, we shouldn't press the goalie because his old legs can't do it anymore, but nah, as I said, he's a predator, and when he gets a chance, he puts it away.
On Tuesday night, look, it was all about going over and celebrating with the fans with that goal, but tonight, this home crowd, you've just enjoyed the scenes there. They were immense, weren't they?
Massive. I think that's the most we've had all season, and it gets you over the line with stuff like that when they're battering us, so it's amazing, so good.
You're mentioning there, Aaron, that it was quite the shift tonight. Maybe it could have been a little bit easier if Brian Graham done the hard work that he had to do as well. What about the recovery now? Because it's 2 massive games coming up next week.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously it's a short turnaround, but I'm quite sure we'll get the recovery that's needed, and the boys will be ready. I think at this time of the season you're running on adrenaline, and I think you've seen that tonight. The adrenaline kind of took us over the line. There's tired bodies out there, but boys are putting their body on the line, and it paid off, and I'm just delighted we're in the next round. It'll be a tough task against Raith Rovers. They're another good side, but I'm sure we've got the capabilities to go and do it.
talking about adrenaline here, Luke, talk us through the last 6 months. This is all culminating in a Premiership playoff semi-final to look forward to. Who knows what could come after that, but just for yourself, nights like this, wow.
I've said it, I think I've repeated myself, but it's a dream. Loving it, that's all you want to do as a wee guy, play in front of big crowds like that, so buzzing.
Absolutely, guys, go and enjoy your night. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thanks very much.
Top man, Luke.
We are joined by the man and the boy of the moment. Daniel, how proud are you of your dad right now?
Good. Very, very proud.
That's fantastic. He's done a good job. Brian, that must mean so much to you tonight.
Honestly, we knew it was going to be a really tough game, Jonathan, and it turned out to be. Obviously, when you go 2-0 up, there's a little bit of breathing space. But then when you concede that goal, at the end it comes a little bit nervy, but we stood strong. We knew we were going to have to because, listen, you've got to give Airdrie a lot of credit. They come up through the playoffs last year and they've played really nice, attractive football this year, but we knew getting a draw the other night, bringing them back here where we knew we were going to be favourites on the grass, and I thought we were lovely winners in the end.
Just how difficult a match was that tonight, Brian?
See, this is where it becomes difficult when you play. If you try to get through the semi-final and then the final, to play 6 games to try and get to the Premier League, especially when it's such a short turnaround. When you go Tuesday, Friday, there's not a lot of time for recovery. Obviously, Raith Rovers have been chilling out, basically waiting on us to come and play as the semi-final, but we'll need to recover as best as we can and be ready to go. But it's all geared up for the Premier League club to stay in the Premier League, and that's a fact. So I think something needs to change down the line.
Let's talk about your first goal tonight, Brian. We'll see it on the screens here as well. Talk us through it. I mean, it was just a huge moment for your team, just to get your noses in front early doors.
Yeah, I think they were arguing for offside, but I wasn't sure I was. I thought I was behind the ball.
It's very tight. We'll see the various angles. We think maybe just slightly, but it's so difficult to see, isn't it, Faddy?
It is, you can't tell.
Look at his toe. I'm onside, Faddy. Let's not kid ourselves.
Look, there's no chance that the goal's going to be taken off you. Absolutely none. If you were holding a gun to my head, I would say you were offside. Right, okay. And just as well, you're shooting for there because you're shooting before the game. Wasn't it great, was it?
We were slightly concerned standing here.
Because that's why I never scored there, like, but and I was talking about that. I missed a glorious chance there, like, but it's the type of guy.
How much did that play in your mind? Did that motivate you to score the night? Of
course it did. It was. I walked away there like raging myself that I hadn't come off and scored, and I was so determined tonight to get a goal, and it played out that I got 2, so I'm absolutely thrilled. Are you gutted you never get any more though? Probably. I'm gutted I never got a hat-trick. You know me.
Brian, I mean, the second goal, it was a thing of beauty as well. A bit of a catastrophe from an Airdrieonians defensive point of view, but it must be a very satisfying finish from yourself.
Yeah, listen, I love playing with Scott Robinson. He's such an intelligent footballer. And when he's in behind me, and I know if he's got the ball, if I make a run, I know the wee man's going to find me. And it played out that way. I just knew if I got across my man, got a nice flick on it, I knew it would win the goal because the goalkeeper would gamble, I'd go front post. So it played out like that, put us 2-0, give us a little bit of cushion, and then I was disappointed with how sloppy we lost a goal.
Sure. In terms of the technique to finish that off though, Leanne, it's a wonderful strike.
Brilliant top drawer. That's why he's the player that he is, because he can adjust, he can anticipate, he knows exactly what's going to happen. But I'm interested, Brian, what was the message at half-time? Because you guys were in a good position in terms of having that lead. We expected Airdrie to be the team that came out and looked for the response, but you get the best start that you could possibly have asked for.
I think we learnt from the other night, Leanne, when we were 2-1 in front, when they came out and scored after 5 minutes. The message tonight was we can't allow that to happen again. We need to start on the front foot, get after them, and luckily for us we got the second goal nice and early, and from there on in I thought it was going to be an easy night. But listen, credit to Airdrie, as I've said earlier, they're a very good side, and we knew they weren't going to chuck it, especially in a quarter-final with a playoff to get to the Premier League, and we had to stand strong at times. A couple of subs come on, Dan O'Reilly comes on, he's solid at the back, gives us that balance at the back. Yeah. We know if there's balls in the air, he's going to go and head it. So we stood strong when we had to. There was a couple of scary moments, but they're always going to be. Listen, in ties like that, there's always going to be one chance they're going to get
just fall a bit deeper as well as the game edges on.
Of course, the nerves start kicking in. Let's not get away from it. If you're not nervous at that time of the game, then there's something wrong with you.
Brian, next week, Raith Rovers. Now, thoughts done to that? Obviously, immediately you have them here on Tuesday night, and then Friday night up in Kirkcaldy. Been quite tight between the sides so far this season. They have had the edge over you. I think it's 2 wins for them and 2 draws so far this season. And it is gruelling for yourself and these Partick Thistle players. You know what it was like last season. To pick yourselves up for next week, just how confident are you can get past Raith Rovers?
Well, I think Raith Rovers' season started at the first game of the season here. We were 2-0 up. and they scored 2 late goals to get a 2-2, and that just seemed to be their season where they scored late goals. They're another good team. The Championship's is full of surprises, but listen, do I fancy our chances? Of course I do. We've got good players in our dressing room. We're full of confidence and belief that we can get all the way and try and get up to the Premier League. That's why we're in the playoffs. We'll give it everything we've got, and we'll see how the next 2 games go.
Daniel, do you want to give your dad the Cinch Premiership playoff quarter-final second leg man of the match award, I should say?
Thanks, Daniel. Enjoy that tonight, son. Right, now it's tomorrow, communion time. Oh, big day for Daniel tomorrow.
Cheers, guys. Thanks very much. You're in that situation again almost. Next week it'll be Wraith Rovers, but in terms of tonight, just how proud were you of your side to get over the line?
Yeah, really proud. Look, I said Tuesday night, just a few days ago, you don't always get it your own way. Even at home, Airdrie will cause you problems, and we knew that. We knew there'd be spells in the game where they were on the front foot on top of us. Probably, especially in the second half. First half, I thought our pressing, ratting about against them was exactly what we needed to do it, and probably taking that from Tuesday, that was much better tonight, and that's what helped us get a front foot in the game, get a hold of the game. Second half we tired a wee bit, and we did sink away at times, but Airdrie are always going to have a spell in the game where they throw everything at you, and they had nothing to lose to try and pull themselves back in the game, so they threw numbers forward, but I thought we defended it really well.
How much did the experience in your side count this evening? Obviously, you've been in the playoffs last season. You had Brian Graham there, 26 goals for the season. He's 36 years of age. How much did that count against an Airdrieonian side that obviously have come up from League One last season? Yeah,
really important. I think we speak about that a lot in the playoffs when an experienced team tends to do a bit better than maybe an inexperienced team. But we've got a good blend. We're not just experienced players. We've got guys out there, young, hungry players. Xander McKenzie comes on. He's 18 years old. We've got other guys. Ben Stanley starts the game. He's 19. So it's not that we're littered with experience, but we've got good experienced professionals. I think it's the type of experience we have, the type of professional. Brian Graham, who was just here, Scott Robinson, these guys have been over the course. They know the big games, they know how to play the big games and not let the occasion get to them.
We've seen the Brian Graham goals. Kris, how much was your heart in your mouth when Callum Fordyce produced this moment near the end, off the bar? Yeah, it's a terrific strike. He hits it probably too well. There's so many bodies around there. We're delighted it hits the bar. I think in another day, that flies in the top corner. David Mitchell does well to get across, but as soon as that lands at Fordyce, you're kind of expecting it to hit the back of the net. Unfortunately, he leans back and it hits the bar. How confident are you against Wraith Rovers, Kris? I mean, you know what it's like. It's so gruelling, this moment of the season. You had it last season, you got it again this season. You could see the sweat dripping off Brian Graham's face there when he was chatting to us. Yeah, how do you fancy your chances? Because Wraith Rovers, I think 2 wins against you so far this season. It's been 2 draws. Yeah, and look, there's not been much between the 2 teams. A bit like ourselves in Airdrie. I know the table looks as if, Wraith had pulled away, but at a point in the season, there was 3 or 4 points in it, and, we could have potentially jumped over them, but they've done well to pull away. But I think in terms of the games we've played, there's only ever been the odd goal in it. It's not as if they've ran away with the games. I still expect that type of game. I would expect us to hold our own. We'll go there confident, and we fancy ourselves to get something. Otherwise, why would you be in the playoffs? If you didn't back yourself and we don't back ourselves to do well, then you're kind of hiding to nothing from my point of view. Leanne, James, are you amazed how calm Kris seems? I mean, going through this process at the moment. I mean, I know you've won and everything,
well,
but still.
He's won, that's why he's calm. But look, he's got a team that keeps him calm as well, because look, you look at the game, everybody was saying 2 each the other night, was it a good result? Everybody, the Partick Thistle was saying yes it was, still had to get the job done. They've been there and done it, and they'll have to go and do it again and beat a really good Wraith Rovers team, but I wouldn't put it past them. That's why he's so calm.
We'll look forward to that same level of calmness on Tuesday night. I don't know about you.
I can't promise that. I can't promise that.
We certainly will. I don't know about you.
You'll want a better ending than last season, though.
Absolutely. Look, we hopefully learn lessons from last year. I think we have. I think personally, I've learned lessons. The players, I think, who were still here last year, they learned lessons. But the playoffs they're so exciting. I think that's the thing. Our players are excited. You've got to be excited about the playoffs. You shouldn't come into the playoffs and be doom and gloom. You should actually come in and back yourselves to do well.
Well done tonight, Kris. Leanne, James, thank you very much indeed.